Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special Sports Night along with Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Yund, and in tonight's edition, we are going to celebrate two men who have left incredible marks on high school sports programs here at Coon Rapids. Up first, we'd like to welcome and thank for joining us head wrestling coach Bob Adams.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, obviously you've dedicated a large part of your life to Coon Rapids Wrestling, first as a Cardinal wrestler and then as a coach over the last 25 years. When you look at your career, what sticks out the most?
Oh, I'd say the relationships with our coaching staff, Adam Tronson, Bob Montague. Those guys have been with me forever. Noah Glenn's been with me for, I think, 13, 14 years. But the coaches, we have a great time. Makes coaching fun. And the relationships with our kids. I had a kid call me just this week asking me some really hard questions about what he should do in after school. I mean, he's been out of school for a few years. So I think he's in the who am I stage, whether he should go to work or help his family help his family, or he wants to wrestle in college or go back to college and keep wrestling. So I love those relationships, and it's hard to guide those kids, but you do your best and hope they make the right choices.
Well, Coach, all of us at CTN and certainly the community, thank you for everything you've done. 25 years as the head coach at Coon Rapids Wrestling Program. Pun intended, when you were wrestling with a decision to retire, what went into that, and how did you finally come to the realization that this would be it? Because it must have been very difficult.
I actually made the decision last year that this year would be my last year. And I think the leading up to that, I thought about it so often that I thought to myself, if I'm thinking about it this often, it's probably time to move on. It's the job is, like we were talking before we got on camera here, it's time consuming, and it's demanding, and there's so many other aspects to coaching that people don't see behind the scenes. Our banquet tonight that we're having right after this interview, our banquet tonight probably took 30 hours to put together. So it's very demanding.
Well, and what many people may not know is that you're also very involved with the Mat Bandits. And for years, we have always been very impressed with the wrestling team's ability to reload and bring in not only quality wrestlers, but good people who represent the school well and really put everything on the mat. And I think what many may not know is how long you have known a lot of these kids from the time they're little bitty kids, 5, 6 years old, through high school. And you talk about the relationships and how much that means to you. What was it that keeps you going as long as you did?
I like winning. We've had very good fortune with the parents that we've had in our program. I've had some great parents, some great presidents. Right now Muffy Glenn is our president, Don Lubinsky, Wade Halseth. These are past presidents that have been part of the Mat Bandit Club. They've made it easy. They're an extension of our program. As the head coach, I've always believed that I should be involved at every level of the program. I want those kids when they're 5, 6 years old looking, the head coach would really like me to, I'd love to wrestle for that guy someday, So that's why I've stayed involved at all levels. I have very rarely missed a middle school banquet. Todd Griffith does a great job down at our middle school banquet. Steve Furstenberg. All of our coaches have been, I'll bet you we have at least 200 years of experience on our coaching staff. I haven't added it all up, but I'll bet it's close.
So I don't know if this is a fair question or an easy one to answer, but if you look back in the 25 years you've been the coach here, do you have a squad, or can you look at a particular squad that said, this is kind of my favorite, this is the one that I was really proud, and I know you're proud of every one of them, but that maybe stood out a little bit more than the others?
Well, our 2008 team, that team was incredible. We couldn't work that team hard enough. I mean, it literally rained humidity in our wrestling room. It got so hot. because those guys work so hard. And that team went to the state tournament. And I've always said that that team was the true Minnesota state champions. Apple Valley had a better team, but 9 of their 14 kids came from other communities, other states. Coon Rapids, that was a homegrown team. That was a tough team. 9 of those kids went on to wrestle at the college level. And I believe, if I remember right, Apple Valley only had 4 or 5 kids wrestle at the college level. So I was proud of the fact that, we've had kids that, continue on after high school.
Yeah, and you talk about you love to win. Numerous conference championships, a great rivalry between you and Anoka over the years, but a whole string of individual state champions that started with your son Ryan, and then Jason also, and your nephew Carter. Mix in a half a dozen others. You had Seamus O'Grady in there, and Engberg. And all the way up till Gavin Layton just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
What is it about those kids and the success that they had that really got them to that level?
They had tough mothers, tough moms. And those kids were committed, Ryan, Jason, Carter, Gavin, Eric Birdall, famous Seamus O'Grady. Yep. Those guys they're just committed. They love winning. They love. I remember asking Seamus O'Grady one time, because Seamus O'Grady had a losing record going into at the end of his sophomore year. His junior year, he was all of a sudden in the state finals, and I asked him what the difference was, and he just said, "I got tired of losing," and committed himself to the sport. And that's what kids today need is commitment. One of the hardest parts that I've struggled with late is the support at home. Our kids in our community need support from home, and I think our community is struggling a little bit with that right now. So that we're going down to Iowa this coming week, and I'm bringing some kids down there. So even though I'm done, I'm still going to be involved. But if we don't get them rides down there, how do they get down there? Right. So we're constantly trying to support our kids, and I've always said that I'm just a spoke in the wheel. I'm one spoke. It takes a whole bunch of spokes to keep the wheel rolling. And in the sport of wrestling, to run a tournament, it takes an army to run a tournament. And we usually do 3 to 4 tournaments a year. And I've had great parent support that help. So I guess that's my answer.
So you talked about, obviously this program, it's the coaches. Obviously you've had great coaches that you've worked with over the past. Talk a little bit about the coach relationship you have with Adam Tronson, because you guys are, you guys go hand in hand in this program, and as much as people obviously talk about you, they also talk about Adam as well.
Sure.
So.
Adam and I wrestled at Augsburg College. Yep. We both wrestled for Jeff Swenson. Yep. I coached with Jeff Swenson for 10 years. Jeff Swenson, I believe he won 12 national titles at Augsburg College. Their Division III program, who at one time they beat a Division I program in the national duels. I don't remember what year it was. But for a Division III program to beat a Division I program, it shouldn't happen, but it did. Yeah. Jeff Swenson, I think, is one of the best coaches in the country. But I coached under Jeff for 10 years, and I watched every move he made. And Adam wrestled for Jeff Swenson as well. I can walk out of I could walk in the room in the middle of the season probably, and I could tell you exactly what, Tronson would be working on. We work together as far as our lesson plans. We don't go into a practice. We've never gone into a practice cold turkey. Our practices are every minute of the practice time is used. But we come from the same lineage of the Tom Landry of football.
Right.
Was Jeff Swenson.
Right.
And we both wrestled for that guy, and we both know what each other are thinking in most cases. So, and he cannot beat me in golf either.
Yeah, but you heard it here.
But he's coming close. So he's been practicing.
So we've been talking over the last quarter of a century. You have committed a lot of your time to wrestling. Now that you have a little bit more open room on the calendar, what do you do next?
I'm not sure. I'm going to take some winter vacations. I don't know if you've heard, but last June, Montague and I went down to Las Vegas, and I jumped into a poker tournament.
Oh, didn't hear this.
And I won the poker tournament. There were 1,667 people in the tournament. I won $30,000.
Wow.
But I had to split it with Montague.
Okay.
Because he put half the entry fee.
Okay, but still.
So I had to pay him $100 or $15,000. So I'm thinking about spending some time in Vegas. I'd like to see if it was luck or skill. I'd like to go to another tournament and just see if I can do it again.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And my competitiveness, poker, you know, it's kind of like you got to have good skills, but you got to be lucky and be competitive too, I think. And I know I went like 6 hours. I never played a hand in 6 hours. That's discipline.
Wow.
And most people don't have that
Right.
discipline.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
Wrestling is discipline too. You got to be disciplined to wrestle.
100%.
Yeah. But it was fun, so I might do some of that.
Very cool.
I might, take a winter vacation. I'm still gonna hang around the wrestling room. They won't be able to get rid of me that easy. So.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of opportunity to go out of the state during the winter season over the last 25 years.
No, I did take a trip to Costa Rica this winter during the season, which I've never done before. So I missed a couple practices. I felt really guilty,
Yeah, sure.
but it sure was fun.
I bet.
It sure was fun being down there.
Well, you definitely deserve all the vacations you decide to take in the very near future. We want to thank you for being such a good friend to us here at CTN throughout our tenure here, and we hope maybe in that post-retirement phase, maybe you come and join us for some wrestling coverage here in the next couple of seasons.
I'd love to do that.
I'm writing it down. I'm holding it to it.
Sure. You bet. I do want to thank the sponsors of our program. We've been very fortunate to have the Shortstop, Boulevard Bar and Grill, and Broadway Bar and Pizza. The last, probably 10 years or so. Shortstop probably the last 20 years supporting our program. So, that we've also been able to help spread that money, that wealth around to all the programs at Coon Rapids High School. So
You have.
So I want to thank the owners of those bars.
Well, we again want to thank you for everything you've done for the wrestling team, for the Coon Rapids High School community, and we wish you the very best.
Well, thank you very much. And I want to thank CTN as well. You guys do a phenomenal job for our program and for all the programs in Coon Rapids. So the kids like seeing themselves on TV. So
we appreciate that.
We have a lot of doing it.
I remember the one day I brought our whole team in here.
I remember that.
Was
that in the way?
2018.
Yeah, I remember that.
Team,
Yeah, I lost a little bit of hair that day.
I wasn't going to lose my mustache, though. I put my foot down. Nope.
Yeah.
But we did wear a singlet, though, over our clothes. if
We
you
did.
remember.
You did.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the match yet, though.
Oh, they'll never happen. No. He'd kill me. I'm an old man.
He hurt himself throwing up a basketball.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'd pull something, so.
But we want to thank you again for everything you've done and for joining us here today. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk with another Coon Rapids coach who is stepping away after a pretty impressive career. Be right back.
Back up top, Roven. Corner and a goal.
Welcome back to Sports Night. In the second half of our program, not quite as long a tenure as Coach Adams, but Coach Doug Donaldson has been a great fixture for both boys and girls swimming for the last decade, and announced that you will be stepping away. And congratulations, I got to say, first, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Coming in and joining us on your birthday, and congratulations on becoming a dad, a big reason for your decision.
Yes, the probably number one reason for my decision. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming, because we certainly appreciate everything you do for us, and I'm gonna miss you at Meet Some. Hopefully, in the future, we can convince you maybe come down and do something with us.
Yeah.
We would love that. But you said 8 years as head coach, 3 years before that, 11 years. It's gone very quickly, I'm sure. Talk about a little bit of that path from that first year as an assistant then to your final year as the head coach.
Yeah, I mean, so first year I said to Sarah Valley and Jamie Law, hey, I'd love to coach. I was just out of college, and they said, okay, well, we'll make room for you or whatever. And so, I coached for free. I was just a volunteer assistant that first year, and loved it. And I always wanted to be a coach. I think from just in high school and then swimming in college and all that stuff, I wanted to keep staying in the sport. And so just kind of advanced from there. I spent 3 years as an assistant at Andover during the boys season as well. So got some more experience there, and had a wonderful opportunity. Sarah was stepping down obviously when one of her kids was being born, and so I said, well, it's my chance, and took over the girls team, and then Marcia stepped down and with the boys, and then I took over the boys team at the same time. So kind of all aligned and worked out, and I've been there ever since. So it's crazy. I mean, it's been a long journey and a lot of fun, and had a lot of great experiences, met a lot of really awesome people, and just including you two.
Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for that.
Yeah. But no, I just, we've worked, there's been so many people that, have been a big part of my experience at Coon Rapids. And obviously I'm a Coon Rapids alum. So, it was always just a great fit for me in terms of how, I view it, my pride in the school, and what I thought about the team, having swam on the team for 5 years, and, the impact I wanted to make. So, I wanted to, always think that I would make the program, better and leave it in a better spot. Our recruiting certainly is not where we'd like to be right now. We're probably just as small of a team as when I first started, which is a little unfortunate. But you can't control things sometimes, and the way I see it is, hey, with my daughter being born, 5 weeks ago, the timing is right, and I want to spend more time at home with my wife and my kid, and so it's just it's the right time for me, but it's also bittersweet, definitely.
So you sent us an email, which we will definitely miss the regular emails.
Sure.
That could at times be as long as my arm, which I loved. The more we know of what's happening outside of the event space, outside of the results page, is huge for our ability to kind of keep the community involved in that program. And you were always a great champion of that. But the email you sent the other day with kind of all your records and the number of school records that have been broken during your tenure, and individuals who have gone on to great success is really quite impressive. How much pride do you take in that?
Oh, a ton. I mean, I don't take any, as a coach, you have some part in those records, but mostly it's the athletes going out and doing it. You write the practices, you motivate them, but, you don't control what they do when their head is in the water, especially in swimming. I mean, it's a team sport, but each person has their own lane, each person has their own race, or on the diving board even, same kind of thing. Like you have to go out and perform. And, it's unique in that aspect, I think. There's a couple other sports that are similar to it, but most team sports, you set records as a part of a team. In swimming and diving, you're setting most of your records individually. And we were blessed to have some amazing talent. Megan Schultz, Tyler Schultz, a couple of the guys that came through when we had that great team a couple years ago with the boys team. So we were blessed to have a lot of really, really fantastic individuals that were motivated and worked hard, and were just excellent athletes, but better people. And I think that's the best part, is you see all those records and you say, yeah, that was fun, but it was really fun coaching them because they were just great people to work with.
Oh, I should point out the longest part of that list was the all-academic achievement. And that is, we've always talked about we've done this 25 years. We haven't seen a ton of overwhelming success from Coon Rapids programs,
Right.
but we have seen a lot of great individuals come through and leave as good quality people. And a lot
Right.
of that has to do with them focusing on their academics as well as, or if not more than their athletics.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a coach, you want to win and you want to be the best team you possibly can. And for me, I wanted to be the best coach I possibly could be. But you also want to make sure that you're having kids come through your program becoming good people if they're not already. But if they are good people, just encouraging them to keep going after their dreams and, keep on top of their homework and get the grades up. And we were blessed with a lot of really, really awesome people that came through the program, like I said before. And it's impressive to see the amount of people that have had, that kind of academic success while also doing so much outside of school. High school sports in general, especially now, you can talk about specialization or anything like that, but just even the people that used to play 3 sports, it's a lot of time. It's a big commitment, and to be able to stay on top of your academics while doing that is just a testament to how hard a lot of these kids work and what they're willing to do and what the sacrifices they make.
Sure.
So it's impressive.
This isn't my question, but to expand on Joe's thought on the email. So we always talk before our sports night what a great email you were, and I was excited to read it. I'm hoping that you'll just send us random emails periodically, just saying how you're doing and make them lengthy, and we would certainly love that.
I'll have to put it on my list of my calendar. Yeah, send you guys.
So my question is, are there the similarities and the differences between coaching boys and girls, and these are different challenges for each particular group?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, there's challenges, and there are similarities. I think one of the hardest things is getting people to buy in takes different skills for each season. So, with the girls, a lot of it is convincing them that they're capable. And trying to keep them motivated. And the other thing is a lot of the girls, it's a social thing for them. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, you have to understand that. You might want to push and work hard and all that, but if you don't have that social aspect, sometimes that can be really difficult. And I will not say that I was always successful at that. I mean, I definitely struggled, and I really tried to make sure that my coaching staff that I had with me, and I had some great assistant coaches along the way, they brought other things to the table that I maybe couldn't bring, so that they could maybe help with those things as well. And then on the boys' side, I mean, it was always, we were coming from a point where we were trying to build that boys team from being bottom of the conference and small team into a bigger program, and something that would be more relevant every year. And I think the guys really bought into some of that, and they worked hard, and they still work hard. And I'm not saying the girls don't; they definitely do. It's just that it's a different mentality. You have to approach it differently with each group. So it's a unique challenge, and something that I think only a couple coaches really get to experience, having, girls track, boys track, or girls cross country, boys cross country. It is different, and kind of managing those 2 seasons is very unique. And there's not a lot of head coaches that do both, even in the swimming and diving community. And so I think there's a reason for that, just because it is so unique and so different.
Well, I think you have done a tremendous job with both programs. So you look back at it over the last 10 years, both, fall and winter seasons, lots and lots of hours.
Yeah.
What do you think you'll miss most, and what do you think you'll miss the least?
So miss most, I've thought about this a little bit, and I think really it's the everyday connections you make with the student athletes, and just being there as a coach, but a mentor, somebody they can come talk to. I mean, I can't tell you, especially in the last 5 years, how much mental health has become more of something we have to deal with as coaches, and it's it's not always what you want to do, right? You'd rather be on the pool deck, but sometimes some of the best moments are when, you're helping somebody through a really tough situation, because you're immediately making a difference, at least in that hour that they're with you, or 2 hours that they're with you, but maybe in their day, maybe in their week. And I think I'll miss that. Those connections I've made with the athletes and the fun times and the joking around and all that stuff. I mean, I always try to be pretty, open and try to be pretty fun and just try to create a fun atmosphere. And I know, sometimes, like our practices weren't always on track depending on, what was going on. We were, playing games or that kind of thing. And, but I think a lot of the athletes had a lot of fun, and I'll miss those moments where we're having a ton of fun at practice, and, there's no pressure to perform. There's, none of that. And, so I think that I'll miss for sure, that interaction. I'm a very social person, so I enjoyed that just as much as I think the athletes did. I think the thing I'll miss the least is probably just the time. It's a big commitment, especially doing both seasons as the head coach. And, I knew that. But when I first started coaching, I was fresh out of college. I had a full-time job, but I didn't have a lot else going on outside of, my job and then coaching. So I just got to put all my energy and my effort into it. And, as I got older and obviously met my wife, and things have, changed in priority a lot in the last couple of years. And now, obviously, with our child, it felt more and more like I was spending time away from them rather than, spending time where I wanted to be. And, when I first started coaching, it was kind of, in my mind, I always said to myself, like, if it ever feels as if this is a job more so than just something I do for fun, then it's probably time. And definitely over the last year, it's felt more and more like that, just because of the time required and the time away from my family. And, and I mean, I'll be honest, it was really hard to coach knowing that my wife was at home pregnant and, going through stuff. And so it all kind of has coalesced into what it is now, but I won't miss the time, I think. Having some more free time or being able to spend that time at home with my family, I'm looking forward to.
Well, I think you definitely deserve it.
Yes.
And I hope you enjoy it. And as cliche as it is, enjoy every second, because the childhood goes incredibly fast.
Yeah, it's already been 5 weeks and it's flown by. So, yeah.
Wait to get my age.
Just wait. You blink and she'll be graduating.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. But
Yeah.
But we do want to thank you for all the time you have committed to the boys and girls swimming and diving programs. We want to thank you for your friendship to us over the years,
Yeah.
and we hope you will not be a stranger, and definitely keep an eye on what our broadcast schedule is. And anytime you want to put on a headset, we'll definitely have you.
Well, I'm a subscriber on YouTube, so I'll definitely be watching.
well, and I have your number, so I will be
Yeah,
calling.
that's right.
I will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
calling.
Well, I want to thank you again for joining us, and unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Thank you. Good night.